Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I don't have a nutrition degree. I'm only offering advice based on my experiences and my collaborations and conversations that I've had with other people in a similar boat who've had this surgery or who have thought about it. Nutritionists as well and counselors. So this is just an information that I want to present to you that I've gathered. Always consult your doctor. Don't make any decisions based on what I'm telling you in these videos, just for educational, testimonial purposes. Okay guys, what I'm going to talk about today is basically the top 10 issues, and these are what I've determined are the top 10 issues that are associated to the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or VSG for short. And I had this surgery back in 2015. I always forget the date. I know my last video I put it in there, but I'm pretty sure it's 2015, August like 28th of 2015. So the end of this year will be 5 years out. But I can tell you, these are the top 10 issues that I've encountered along the years that have been things that I've had to work around. These are in no specific order, just the ones that came to the top of my head first. So here they go. Number one, transfer addiction. Transfer addiction is definitely a thing. I've heard that term before in some of the various groups that I've been in, where basically anybody who's had the surgery probably had some type of addiction quality, which is why they couldn't control their intake of food. And when we have the surgery, it kind of forces that control on us, and we don't have the ability to overconsume, which is why we lose weight. But transfer addiction is a real thing. Some people have transferred that addiction over to good habits and some to bad. Some people transfer it into fitness regimen, and that's awesome. I transferred mine over to alcohol. I'll elaborate more on that on another video, which isn't a good thing. And some people transfer it over to sex addiction, and some people to whatever. So just be aware, transfer addiction is a real thing to worry about. Number two, hormone imbalances. So hormone imbalances are something that are definitely going to happen. I started noticing mine somewhere halfway through the first year, where I started to feel just kind of unexplainably happy or sad or even horny. When your body starts to have fewer calories and it starts to burn up fat for energy, sometimes a process will happen that'll cause hormonal imbalances, and people have lost hair, sex drive's gone up, things like that happen. So just be aware that that's another thing. Number three, the third thing, acid reflux. This one's actually pretty big and has been something I've dealt with recently. So acid reflux, our stomach is smaller after the surgery, and so you have more concentration of acid in a smaller volume, and it seems to cause issues. When I first came out of the surgery, they said that I had to take omeprazole or Prilosec, essentially. They're PPIs, proton pump inhibitors, and you should probably take them after the surgery because you don't want to damage the lining of your sutures. You'll want to talk to your doctor and make sure that it's okay to come off of them or go through a process or whatever it takes. I'm currently doing a different product that I had in another video called L-limousine, orange burps, and I take a couple of Tums, and I seem to have mine under control. I control my eating. Whenever you have this acid reflux syndrome after the surgery, it makes it easier to puke. So you would have these little acid pukes in your throat. And in fact, after the surgery, you can kind of bend over and puke. Puking's a lot easier, and all that's kind of associated to the acid reflux, because that switch between your esophagus and your stomach is just changed after the surgery. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I know that it's a thing, because if I don't watch what I eat now, I will definitely have acid reflux kick back in. Ulcers are also an issue with the acid reflux that you'll want to watch out for. This is why they say not to smoke after the surgery, because nicotine has potential to flare up and exacerbate ulcers, and acid in your stomach and ulcers can cause cancer. So you definitely want to adhere to those warnings and don't smoke. I used to vape. Don't vape anything with nicotine, even the patch, even the gum. Number four, proton pump inhibitors. This kind of ties into acid reflux. Again, we're going to be told to take them, and I think that we should take them, but after a certain amount of time, you're going to want to come off of them, because your stomach needs acid so that it can break down essentially minerals. Almost all the minerals need acid to break down for you to absorb. Yes, we're going to be on vitamins for probably the rest of our life and supplements the rest of our life, but even absorbing those vitamins, which are in pill form or capsule in your stomach, needs the acid there to break it down so that you can absorb it. So I don't find it intelligent to stay on PPIs for the rest of your life. PPIs and low acid will cause vitamin B12 deficiencies, which are why they highly recommend you take a B12 supplement. I take the spray under the tongue supplement so that I know that I'm absorbing it. I don't have to worry about the acidity of my stomach or not. Like I said, the minerals, the key ones are magnesium, calcium, zinc, copper. Also, whenever you take PPIs and it pulls the acid down, your ability to have H. pylori goes up. So acid helps keep bad bacteria and flora in check. So it's not a great thing to, we didn't evolve with no acid in our stomach. Acid's necessary in your stomach. Excessive acid also causes problems. You have to find a balance. You got to talk to your doctor and figure it out. But you need acid to break down your food and absorb your minerals. Number 5, reactive hypoglycemia. So I have had so many bouts of reactive hypoglycemia. I posted a video about this earlier. I have had the tests, even recently, I had tests done for my nerve issues, and they tested for diabetes. I do not have diabetes. My A1C is awesome. My fasted glucose is awesome. I don't have diabetes, and I'm not pre-diabetic. And I don't eat a diet that's conducive to having diabetes at this point. So I definitely have reactive hypoglycemia. I do not know why having this surgery causes some of us to have reactive hypoglycemia, but it does. And I can tell you that I have 2 trigger foods that will cause it almost every time. I like to go to the movies and eat popcorn, and for some reason the fat or oil or butter and popcorn will cause it. If I eat popcorn that doesn't have coated with oil or wasn't popped in oil or with butter, it doesn't seem to cause the issue near as much. But that makes sense because it's a fat and a starch, and the fat tends to coat your cells and your ability to absorb sugar goes at a skewed. So look into that. Look into the fat high blood sugar correlation in another video. But for this video, I'll just tell you, I know it's true for me. Also, chips and salsa. So if we go to a Mexican restaurant and if I have the chips that are brought out and there's tons of oil, you can see the oil in the bottom of the basket they put them in, that will cause me to go and have reactive hypoglycemia very soon. I'm talking within 10 to 15 minutes, I'll start to feel it, and it's unmistakable. If you've ever had it, you know what I'm talking about. All I have to do is put a sugar packet into some water and drink it, and I'll start to feel better. So for whatever reason, the surgery can cause reactive hypoglycemia. Number 6, dumping syndrome. So dumping is a real thing. When I first heard the term dumping, I thought it was like you're gonna crap on yourself or you can't make it to the bathroom. It has nothing to do with that. It tends to be this very nauseated, almost have the flu, you feel weak, syndrome that comes over you for eating foods that are extremely rich foods cause it. So things like gravies, some soups, especially like broccoli cheese soup that's really cheesy, beer cheese soup, stuff like that will cause it for me. It causes me to go into this rich food syndrome if they're extremely high in fat or they're extremely sweet, so very sugary. So some forms of chocolate will cause it. And I know I'm mentioning bad foods in this, but so essentially if you eat good foods, you probably won't dump. But I've had it off of watermelon. Watermelon has a tendency to dump a lot of sugar into your system at once, and it's caused it for me. And I love avocados. I can eat avocados, but they have a higher fat content. And if I eat half of an avocado with rice cakes, which is one of my favorite snacks, I'm okay. But if I eat a full large avocado and in one dinner setting, that causes me to dump mildly just because of the higher fat content of it. Number 7, weight regain. This surgery is just a tool. It makes your stomach smaller. You have the ability, I've probably actually increased my stomach size from what it was originally after surgery because of poor eating choices, slippery foods, slider foods as they call them, foods that are easy to consume and will go down and graze in all day long constantly. You can overeat your stomach's ability to keep the meals small. and you'll regain weight. You want to make sure that you try to get yourself into a fitness routine, a fitness lifestyle that lets you constantly battle that. You need it anyways. Humans need to move. We need to sweat, even if it's even if it's just a walk. Don't get back into a sedentary life, because weight regain is probably going to happen. You can minimize it, and you can even beat it. I know a lot of people who have had weight regain and then lost it again without additional surgeries. It just requires discipline, and this discipline is good for us. We need the discipline. I'm not a hypocrite. I need to do it too. I've had about 25 to 30 pounds of weight regain from my lowest. It's a constant struggle. Be aware that's you're not going to lose the weight and it's going to stay off 100%. That is definitely not a guarantee, and not the likely statistic. Statistically, people have weight regain. Number eight, hernias. When we have the surgery, we have trocars, or they cut us open, or whatever means they're going to come through your stomach lining to get to your stomach itself. And I had 5 trocars, or holes, in other words, pushed into my stomach. And one of those trocars have rebounded into a hernia that I had to have additionally taken care of. So be aware that you're probably going to be prone to hernias after this surgery. The best thing you can do is exercise sensibly, follow your doctor's warnings and suggestions for things like that. Make sure that if you lift weights, you do it sensibly with a weight belt, and you don't hold your breath. And like, I've done that. You've seen one of my prior videos, I think, and I talk about that. So hernias are a recurring thing that could happen, that you need to be aware of, and just realize that when you put holes into your stomach fascia, your abdominal wall, it might cause issues down the road that you'll taking care of in addition to your surgery. Number 9, your taste for food might change. So a lot of the foods that I used to like stayed the same for the taste, but the one major thing that changed for me is I no longer like the taste of just plain water. I used to love it. I used to drink, I'd go to Walmart and get those big 3-liter jugs of White Mountain, or whatever it is, the mountain water, the spring water, and I could drink that whole thing through a day. It's like pretty much almost a gallon, and I would drink that, and I liked the taste of it by itself, and I could gulp water, and I can gulp water again like I used to, just not huge amounts of gulping. And why would you want to? Just drink water. But I no longer like the taste. I have to put some type of water flavoring in my water, or else I just won't drink it. And a couple of foods that I didn't like, I do like, and a couple of foods that I used to like, I don't like. So your tastes may change after surgery. And number 10, loose skin. You're gonna have loose skin in some form or fashion because of the fact that, you know, most people that have this surgery lose a good amount of weight, and that's going to cause the skin that you had that was for your bigger body is going to be unfilled with that dense fat that's in there. You'll have loose fat. You'll still have fat, and some of us will lose all of that and lose that completely down. You may have to end up having a skin surgery. You may have to just deal with having loose skin. I just deal with it. I don't have but one person in my life that really needs to see me naked at this point. So she's okay with it. So you do have a little bit of loose skin, unfortunately, but that's preferable to having a lifetime of chronic obesity and health issues that are associated to that. So the bottom line is that you're going to have issues after this surgery. Hopefully your benefits are going to outweigh those issues, and you need to make an informed decision. You need to do research. I assume that's why you're watching this video, or you're somebody who's had the surgery and you just wanted to relate to some of the issues that you're having as well. I'm going to expand on some of these topics in future videos, but I wanted to put that out there because I've had the surgery almost 5 years at this point. And I see this as a pretty consistent thing across the board. And when I talk to people, there may have been a couple of things that I missed. If there were things that you have or you've noticed that I missed, include them in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good one.